Cute earrings. Welcome back to the Get Up Girl with your gal Joanna Vargas, and I am with the manifestation coach and speaker Maria Concha. She is from the East Coast, if you're from the United States, and I'm on the West, so we're like East Coast versus West. And Maria's been on the show before a few times, and I'm so glad to talk to you again. Welcome back, sweetheart. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you. Always good to be here and just jam out with you. So thank you for having me. I'm doing really well. Like it's just feeling really good. Feeling really good. Yeah.
Great. That's good. Yeah. Starting to see like more of the light for myself as well, too. Like
Mhm.
always feeling good. And there's days that lower higher, but it's like, oh man, I'm starting to get my mojo back, at least for myself. And I've been talking to other girlfriends too, and they kind of feel the same. Anyway, wanted to jump in and talk about today's topic about manifesting, about creating,
Mhm.
about bringing things to our into our lives intentionally when we don't feel like it, Maria. When you're just like, I'm just not into it, maybe today, this season. Maybe
Mhm.
it's like for 3 months, you're not feeling it. Maybe it's for a year, you're not feeling it, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to keep showing up. Like, that's one thing. My superpower, Maria, is I show up. I show up. I show up. I show up in the ugly and I show up in the pretty. For anybody listening that's like, it's hard for me to show up unless it's perfect, unless it's good. Let's talk about that. What have you done, Maria, when you have those days like, I just don't feel like doing it today?
I think, well, it's funny you asked that because the last time I was on your show, I was in that season of not wanting to show up. And for me, not wanting to show up is more so having to do with just the only thing, and I was actually talking to my therapist about this the other day, the only thing that will have me not show up is when there are dire situations. That's about it.
Mhm.
Other than that, and so basically, I have been dealing with just family stuff, caring for my sister, and it's been the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It's been just heartbreaking. So you can imagine who wants to be, out there and then you're not excited because there's so much happening and there's so much heartbreak and heartache and all these things going on. And so at this time, I would say about for the past I don't know, year or so, I just have not been feeling like inspired by a lot of stuff. I've been feeling, in a way like just even if I wanted to feel good about it, I didn't because I would feel guilty, blah blah blah. So anyhow, all that to say to you that we're not going to always be inspired. At the end of the day, though, regardless of how we show up, we are manifesting something, right?
Mm.
And so knowing when you have the knowing that regardless, if you're creating by default or not, you're creating, period. And so for me, I would always try to be super intentional no matter what I'm going through, even if I wasn't showing up on the level that I'm used to showing up
Mhm.
on, because I think the biggest thing for me was I can't fake or force it. That is like, that to me feels like just soul sucking, and for that I'll go back to work for someone else, right? and
Mhm.
so the way that I would the thing that kept me going, for that always keeps me going, is just doing something, even if it's
Mm.
one thing, just freaking just something, like even if it's movement for 5 minutes, or just drinking my 2 liters of water a day, always hitting that. Even though I know I always hit it, I'm like, I don't care, I hit it today. I'm gonna pat myself on. I I would just do things that really nourish me in ways that have nothing to do with, like, the hustle or the business or whatever. No, just like for me, and I gave myself a lot of grace. And so, how do you manifest when you don't feel like it? First off, you're always manifesting. So whether you
Mm.
feel like it or not, you're always creating, you're always manifesting, right? So I
Yeah.
think being intentional for me about the thoughts that I'm saying to myself about how I'm investing my energy and time. So for example, if I say yes to hanging out with someone that is like potentially not going to be serving me, right? If I'm already in kind of a little bit of a funk, I am not going to say yes to hanging out with someone who's not going to raise my vibration. I'm just not. Mm-hmm. So I think being intentional about those things was really important, because the things, how you spend your time and your energy affects you and your emotions and how you show up, and that affects what you manifest. So for me, when I'm in a funk, I really start to be really intentional about how I'm spending my energy, even if it's by myself, not even with other people.
Totally get it. I want to talk more about you're always manifesting. We're always creating. I believe, I have a knowing that we think the word manifest only means creating like the quote unquote good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to manifest this, but we also create and manifest all the not so fun things in our lives as well. Mm-hmm. Please talk about that, because even though I know that cognitively, I'm still brainwashed to think the manifesting is only for the stuff that I would like to invite into my life. Talk a little bit more about that we're always creating that.
So it's so interesting because I hear this often, and I see it like on social, and I actually see people that are like against manifestation. They're like, manifestation, like you can't just sit there and think that things are gonna that things are gonna just come out of thin air, which makes me feel like, so this person thinks that manifestation's only for good. Yeah. So and so I didn't know that people saw it that way until I saw that people saw it that way. And so whether you want to manifest something good or bad, it doesn't matter. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Mm-hmm. Right. And so for we're always manifesting. As long as we're alive and thinking and feeling, mm-hmm. right, and showing up in whatever way we are manifesting, right, whether good or bad. Like the universe is not saying, hey, Joanna, nah, girl, don't think that. Stop that right there. No, the universe is like, cool, Joe, you're thinking about how that's not happening. I'm going to give you more of how that's not happening. That's what you're about. I'm going to match your frequency. I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to match how you're showing up, because that's what you're giving me, right? It's all energy. And so, and that's something that I've learned, like, oh my gosh, okay, Maria. So yes, if you want to deliberately manifest really juicy stuff, there are ways to absolutely do it and be really intentional, both spiritual and practical. But let's say if you're not familiar with how to do that, then you're still manifesting your outcome. Everyone's like daily lives are a manifestation of the seeds they planted, yesterday or that morning. That's all it is. We're just living out the seeds that we were planted at some point in our lives. We're always manifesting.
Yeah, interesting how it's been diluted, Maria, about how to attract. What is the law of attraction? And a law of attraction is just like the law of gravity. It's not if you believe in it. People say, I believe in the law of attraction. You don't say, Maria, I believe in gravity. Gravity just is, right? So it's the same thing. A law is a law. Mm-hmm. And so with the law of attraction and with creating in your life and pulling those things into you, it's not just sitting on the couch and thinking about it, which is a piece of the pie as well, but it's choice creates awareness. So once we would like something to create in our lives, and then the next step, make a choice, do something, follow the seashells, make a choice. Just like you said at the beginning, you're like, sometimes I'll just drink my water, or I'll move, or I'll go for a walk. That is a choice. And that small choice will create awareness, the next little pebble, the next little feather touch. It could be so tiny, but it's like, do something. And Maria, I think sometimes we think to do something or be something has to be so grand. Like it has to be, I have to go and do this one big frog that I've been wanting to accomplish. And what if it's yesterday, Maria, for me, it was taking a shower. You know what? Right now, a shower is going to create so much for me, because I cannot think right now. I can't do anything. I'm just spinning like that little computer wheel, just spinning and spinning, looking at my computer, and I'm not doing anything. And the choice was to take a shower, and it created so much. It created awareness. It created like what was next for me to do. And then I was able to work, a couple more hours feeling better, not my best that I normally am, but my best for that moment. And so one thing I want to talk about, Maria, is, okay, I do want to dive in deep here, because when we're feeling icky, like, ugh, the last thing we want to hear is somebody telling us, well, focus on the positive, focus on the good. And you're like, I'm going to sucker throat punch you because I can't hear that right now. And I think we see a lot of that. It's like the push energy, the very focus on the good, focus on the positive. I want to get your take on that because I would love to have a little discussion about that. When we're in a place of funk and we're being pushed, and then we reject and we create separation with the ideas of somebody pushing on their knowing on us. What do you think about that?
I think that if you're in this place where you are not, where someone's saying to you, think of the positive or stay positive or whatever the case is, if you're not receptive to that, if you're not in that space, it's not going to be, it's not going to serve you. You're just going to have resistance. And honestly, I think that, I don't think that like that's such a cop-out line. I think stay positive. What I do, and even for like my clients and whatnot, is I always like to just have them like feel into their body, and like ask like, what do you need right now to feel nourished? Like what's going on here?
Yes.
You know, because it might not be just be positive. That, you know, I like to, and I'll be honest, it wasn't always the case, but now I really enjoy holding space for whatever it is that may come up for me. And I hold space for dark stuff. And I didn't before.
Good.
And I didn't before. You know what I mean? And so
Queen of that. Yep.
I think it's about just, no one knows what you need and what your body needs in the moment but you.
Amen.
But so the I think for me the greatest thing has been to and I think I said this to you before, Joe, it's like the ability to discern, what do you need, what works for you. It's not always about just being positive. Like being positive, if you're being told to be positive but you're in a state of pain, you can't just override that and ignore it, because then it's going to stay, you know, in you. And then that's not, you know, I read something today about how, I think my coach said it, I can't remember who said it, but probably my coach said, how being vulnerable is actually like extremely healing. And it's you know, and like being able to be vulnerable with yourself, it gives others permission too. And so that person that's probably saying, be positive, you probably make them feel uncomfortable because you're not in that place and you're being very truthful, which is, a lot of people are afraid of the truth of how they feel. And so I think, and this is a deep conversation, you know, this is a deep conversation. So I think that to the people that are, you know, be positive and all that, I don't necessarily think they fully can hold space for someone who's going through some pain. And so that's just what they can offer at the moment. And, you know, that's okay. That's where they are. That's their journey. And you can either accept whatever they're saying and take it, or you can, thank you so much, I appreciate you wanting to be here for me. But, you know, you yourself need to know what you need. No one can know that but you.
Maria, well said. Hold space for the dark stuff. That is courage. And to be around the darkness with other people when you're shining bright.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you're shining bright, you're like, uh-oh, I have to go down with them. I'm going, don't come down here with me. Like I'll tell my boyfriend that. You know, he's shining bright, everything's great, and I'm in the dark stuff. I'm like, give me an hour, or maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week, maybe it's 30 minutes. I'm like, please don't go down here with me. And I know in this reality, Maria, we're taught that love and caring is to go down there with them and like mush around in it. And I love how Abraham says, like, no, don't go there with them. Don't pull somebody in with you. And I tell, please don't come down here with me. And he's like, but I was taught that is kindness. And I'm like, no, what's kind is that when you shine brighter and you hold space for me, when I am a little Tasmanian devil in my darkness, I will come out. Promise you, I will shine bright again. And the courage to shine bright when somebody's in the dark stuff is such beauty. It's such beauty. And to be the ladder for that, you know, when they're there, oh, it's so beautiful when you witness that. And I had never witnessed that, Maria, because I was usually around people that it was very scary, like you said.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't, this is too much. They didn't articulate it that way, but they did it in other ways of like leaving or,
Mhm.
and then me believing, me buying that I am wrong, buying
Mhm.
that there's something, there's the wrongness of me. Okay, so then let me think of the positive. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want right now. I cannot see the positive. It's too A to Z. I
Yeah.
can't go back to A when I'm at Z. I got to go to Y first, which choice creates awareness. I'm in Z, take a shower. Now I'm in Y. Now I'm in X. I mean, I'm trying to go backwards with the alphabet. You get what I'm saying, Maria, right? And it's like, I will get back there to A. Trust me. And can you hold the space? Oh, so good. I want to talk about, oh, this is really cool conversation. I know you would totally be into this. I heard this the other day that when we say the universe, we say life, the universe has our back, all those quotes. And many times we put the universe, we put God, we put life outside of us. And it starts with us. I'm the universe. And then
Mhm.
everything around is the universe. This pen, my cell phone, this house, the trees, the air is the universe, but it starts with you. It starts with me. And I love how you said, you know what's required for you. If someone
Mhm.
out there is telling you, think positive, but I love how you said, what is required for you? What do you need right now? Oh, that is such beauty. And I wonder if I would see a day that is the norm on this planet when somebody is in the ugly and we can ask them a question as opposed to attack energetically imposing our do this energy.
Mhm.
Yeah, what about that for you? About the universe and it starting with you?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the more that I like learn and read all different takes on it, I came across that a while ago, and something like that, right? I forgot what book I was reading, and I remember feeling like, "What do you mean the universe? No, we're separate. The universe is this higher being,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I get assistance and support from this higher being that is not me." But then I started reading, like other things like Eckhart Tolle and like all these. And at first I was like, this is weird. No, right? It almost felt more comfortable to be separate. It really did. It felt more comfortable to be separate because I didn't trust that I had it all in me.
Maria. Oh, girl, if you could see the goosebumps on me right now as I touche, I was like, I know stuff. I do. I'm
Yeah.
not stupid. And I have to go to everybody else. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah. And that right there can also apply to not just the universe, but to other people that we look up to, right? And that we feel like we need to, really like they're like Bible in a sense. And it's like, wait, no, you can figure this out. You really like ask yourself, what do you want? What do you need? Of course, we can get assistance and support. No one's saying that. But it's for me now, I'm more in the space of we are all creating. And one of my best friends, she said to me, Marissa, she's always done this with me from the moment that we met. She's always, anytime I idolize people, right? She would pretty much just say like, oh, that's your colleague. She would talk about them in a way that we were like in the same
Uh-huh.
place, right? On the same level. And I remember at first I would have so much resistance because I was like, what reality is she in? She's not in the reality. She doesn't understand. Blah, 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 blah. But it's so amazing that she always led with that and always just kept being in that space with me, because years later I realized, and I thanked her so much. And I said to her, oh my gosh, I was so in my ego, right? And when we're in our ego, we separate and we put people on pedestals and we think we're different and we're apart. And of course, we're all different in our unique, special ways, but we all have the abilities, right? Those special abilities. And so now I don't see it as someone's over there, someone's over there. No, I'm just like, we are all special, unique, cool, but we are co-creating. So if I want to work with someone, even if I'm reading someone's book, I'm like, this is a co-creation right now happening. right? I'm like all about like, let's dissolve that ego that makes us feel separate. But I will say too, Joe, I have to approach it in a very practical way, because I get like, when I don't understand it from a practical way, it gets very fuzzy for me. And that's when I get kind of nervous. And then I start to go back to my old ways of thinking we're separate. So I have to be like almost a fifth grader here when it comes to this work, and just say we are all, you know, co-creating. I understand that I get. I've heard this concept, and I've heard this being told in a way that I didn't understand it before, and it was just, maybe it went right over my head. But now I'm kind of like, okay, cool. I'm just simplifying what it means for me.
Maria, because when I got this, and I'm not going to say learn this when I got it, because we all get it when we get it, right?
Yes.
You can hear things 42,000 times and you got it on the 43rd thousandth.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
And the lightness, that's where mine are goosebumps. My body will light up. I call it a ping, like it's like a ping.
Yeah.
What's true for us is light. It feels like champagne bubbles, like it's just light, like that's the truth for us. And what was true for me could be different for you. Maybe it's true for you, but maybe tomorrow it's true for you. And so I do love the modeling and the coaching that you were talking about. Like, let's say I have a coach, for example, and he or she says, hey, I think you should do this with your business, and it doesn't light me up. I have a choice to go, you know what, hey, maybe not right now, maybe later. But a lot of us put this thing into coaches, and especially fitness, Maria. I'm in the fitness, and people look at me like I have the answers for their body. And I'm like, I'm not that coach. I am here to, and here's the quote, I'm going to show you how to trust you. That's what I'm here to do.
Beautiful.
I'm here. That's my job. I'm not here to tell you what to eat. I want you to go on a discovery of with you and your body and what pings and lights you up. Yeah, all that. But what should I eat after I work out? What do you think? What do you know? Not think. What do you know that you should or would create the most for your body? Not should. Like maybe today when you work out, it's this. Maybe tomorrow it's that. It's Maria, it's different from my body every day. Sometimes my body will say, you know what? I require some food before I work out because you're about to fall over. Okay, cool. The next day, my body might go, you know what? Let's fast. Cool. Yeah. There's no rule. It's like my best friend. I'm going to go, okay, what would you like today? How do we co-create with my body today? Because I know some book. Now, sometimes that's required, Maria, where I could read a book and it pings me and I'm like, ooh, that.
Because it feels, you feel it. Yep.
But that book is not the be all tell all, and I have to do this all the time, every time. And that I want to empower people to know that you know.
Yeah.
What do you know here? And it's like, whoa, yeah. I heard that question, and like you said it was kind of like a little fuzzy. The first time I heard that question, what do you know, Joanna? And my world just went like knocked upside down. What do you mean? What do I know? What do you know?
Well, Joe, think about it. It's because, well, for me, this knowing, it went against my identities. It went against what society has taught me, that you got to go to school because you don't know the answers and you're going to learn from that person. All our lives, that's what it was. And then if you want to get a higher degree or higher education, you can't learn it. You got to go, you don't have it in you, right? You got to go somewhere else, always going outside of ourselves. And so when I realized I had all this potential, all this power within me, it was scary because, well, first off, I questioned it, I still question it, right?
Yeah.
I'm still working on it. But I'm also proving to myself every day when I show up, like, damn, girl, you do have it within you, right? But it requires courage, massive amount of courage. To others, to your everyday person, it may look like you're going against the grain, right? Like you're rebelling, but that's not what it is, right? I'm just rediscovering who I really am. And what I want to say is, like, when people, like you're saying, people come to you and they say, oh, okay, yeah, cool. All that is cool. And you're over here trying to get them to trust themselves because that's key, right? And so, but they're like, yeah, but like, what do I need? again, it's like the fast food, industry, right? That's a mindset and a lifestyle. That is not food. That is a lifestyle and a mindset. And so this mindset that's been instilled, embedded, ingrained in us since we were young, that goes everywhere. That's implemented everywhere. We seek that everywhere. We don't even know it, but we do. So when they're going to you, they're not, why would they want to do that work if they could just get something like this? And there are people out there, Joe, who are giving it like this. Here's a blueprint. Here's the one and done cheat sheet. Here's the right. But at the end of the day, what you do so special and so impactful in the long run for them, because you're teaching them something that is, once they have the ability to do that, to trust themselves, like that is going to completely shift so much in every department of their lives, not just fitness. Right. But the fitness instructor or coach that's giving them the cheat sheet, that's cute for that season. But then their bodies are going to be like, wait, I need something else. And then they think something's wrong with them. Right. So then they're going to seek for the next thing and then the next thing. And it's always going outside of ourselves. So it's a very interesting cycle.
Oh, Maria, I love this conversation because it is not, I'm going to say it's not easy to find people that I'm going to say that this, okay, again, I'm trying to get the right words, the energy, that this pings them because it is. I mean, I've taught fitness for 24 years, just counted the years.
Wow.
But the ones that do get it, like they get it, they're like, oh yeah, it rings true for them. They have such magic transformations. And I'm just holding space. I'm just telling them squat, do this pretty much. And it's all them. It's not me. And the trainers that are, it's all me. It's up to me. You have to come to my class, do my things. It's really releasing that for me, Maria, that they're making a lot of money. It's the quick money and people want to give them money because it's like fast food. I will give you money because I need the food fast. And mine's the slow route. And having the courage, Maria, to continue that slow route and go, I could so quickly sell like a 30-day plan and help everybody. Yeah, that's totally doable. But that doesn't ring true for me. And Joanna, keep creating this. And that's been courage for me too. Cause I'm like, oh man, I so want to jump on the bandwagon, but this is not sexy. Hey, come over here and I'm going to teach you how to choose for you. Right. And like, no, I want the 30-day. How do I lose 5 pounds? Yeah. And the ones, Maria, that get it, it's glorious. And they have all the power. Yeah. I just hold them in the ugliest, not that it's all ugly, but they're ugly when they come in because they're like, help me.
Yeah.
I'm out of shape, whatever the story is. God, this is so good. Whew. I love it because sometimes I get tongue-tied because I have so many things in my mind. And I love when I get tongue-tied because it means that things are clearing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, people go, I don't know, I have nothing to say. That's cool. It means there's no more junk here. I'm clearing it out. But
yeah, it's great.
Oh, so good. Okay. Well, last thing, anything else we want to add in before we put a big bow on this? Such a juicy conversation.
I think that the thing that I've been hearing lately, and I'm glad that it's trending, honestly, is giving yourself, maybe it's not, maybe it's just trending in my mind, but I think the thing that, the thing to lean on these days, maybe these next couple of months, just because of, the temperature of where we are in life, right, with everything, right, going on in the world. I think it's just like giving ourselves grace and holding space for what is really coming up for us and what we're really truly feeling. I think that there's been a lot of fear, and divide, and it's been going for some time now. And so I think that whether it's, in your personal lives and all these things, right? We're all affected. We're impacted, but I think giving yourself grace and just giving yourself the space to feel whatever it is you're feeling. And when I say give yourself space, I don't want anyone to think that means you're just literally sitting there. Like, I mean, if that's what you want to do too, you could do that. Sometimes I do that too. But what for me that could look like, yeah, I do sit there, and like if I need to cry, we'll just sit and cry. But also giving yourself space is acknowledging what is truly happening in the moment, and even if you want to be courageous and sharing that with someone, right? Sharing it with the friend, sharing it with the spouse, sharing it without expecting for a solution right then and there. That's courageous.
Because there's nothing to fix. There's nothing wrong with you.
No,
There's
no.
nothing to fix.
Oftentimes we don't share because we are afraid to be disappointed, right? Because there's like no answer, no quick fix. But I think that getting it out and really holding space for it, for whatever may be coming up for you, I think it's just, like you said, it's like clearing it out. It's just clearing it out. And then when we clear, we can make space for the things we do want to manifest.
Mm-hmm.
We only have enough of bandwidth for certain things. So when we clear it out, we hold space for it, clear it out, juicy stuff comes.
Yeah. I love a cry. I love a great cry. I do. Yes. And it's really fun because there's times where I want to cry and there's nothing. There's nothing there. And then there's other times where I'm just waterworks, anything. There could be a commercial. And I just cry. There's nothing wrong with either. It just is. Whatever. And I don't need a reason and justification, Maria. Before we put a bow on this, I do notice that I will do this. I wanted to do it yesterday. I, cried a little bit, and I went into the reason and justification. Mm-hmm. I'm crying because of this reason. Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe I'm going to start my period. Whatever the story is, what if I'm just freaking crying? That's it. Yeah. Why do and I felt that come up. And then today I started again to go into I'm going to just use justification. Justify what is this ugliness? Because, yeah, it was not fun. It put a damper in my day. Here's my day. Now 30 minutes goes by because I just don't feel like doing it. And what if it just is? There's no reason. I don't need a reason. I don't need a justification. Yeah. And because we do, like you said, when we were kids, we learned the question was, what's wrong? What's wrong? Mm-hmm. Even to this day, what's wrong? I'm like, I'm just crying. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah. Well, how about you let me figure out what I'm feeling? Give me some space.
Yeah. It's like, Maria, if we're laughing and somebody walks in and says, what's wrong? Laughing, crying, they are emotions. But what's wrong? And you hear that over and over again. And I know for myself, then I don't share because I think something's wrong. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I don't want to be wrong. And I'm here to tell you, you're not wrong. We're not wrong. You'll never be wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. And find those people that can hold space when you're in your ugly stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. Everybody follow her on Instagram, Manifesting Ninja, right? It's not it's just Manifesting Ninja.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Follow her on Instagram. She puts great content. Yeah. Loving your feed. It's so beautiful. Just saw it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having photos. Always
I appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. Thank you, everybody. Remember, if you want different in your life, choose different. And I will see you next time. Love you all. Love you, Maria. Bye.